What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today when I talk to you about Lucid, I want to go over some of the current data points, what just came out associated to Lucid, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is down 1.65%, 203 the low, $2.12 the high. So in reality, not all that bad. Considering the broader market, many stocks are hit a lot worse than that, even including Rivian down 3%, Tesla down 5.7%. So Lucid's doing pretty good in my opinion. Aside from that, just the broader market is bleeding. So Dow is down 1.48%, S&P 1.22, NASDAQ down 0.82%. So a lot of people are just concerned about the tariffs. And I think in reality, the market's moving up a little bit from the lows only because they were anticipating Canada to, and also Mexico, to immediately respond in kind with a 25% tariff. But it looks as though Canada, I haven't seen anything from Mexico yet, but I know Canada seems to be holding off and they'll be in discussions. A lot of potential threats for associated to oil and stuff like that, but nothing substantial. So I think all in all, that's why the market is moving up a little bit. Take that with a grain of salt, of course. But today, no official news from Lucid itself, no SEC filings, nothing along those lines. So it's merely just piggybacking off the broader market. A couple of things did come out that I do want to share with you. One was posted by Lucid Oasis. So Lucid has appointed Adrian Price as SVP of Operations, replacing Stephen David. So Adrian does have quite a lot of experience at Ford. So I think like 30 plus years. So this right here does kind of show that 27 years, sorry. Of experience at Ford and 30 plus in the industry. So I think Lucid's good at bringing talented individuals over, but at the same time, I feel like you could say that about anyone on the executive team. Just Lucid has gone through so many executives, like for being a startup, it's absolutely insane. So they've gone through 3 mass VPs changes. This time around, it looks like it was just Steven and Peter. They were the ones that were kind of moved around / fired potentially. So yeah, it's kind of a good thing, but I think at this stage in the game, they can do whatever the hell they want with the executives. From an investor standpoint, it's just like, get the damn job done now, ramp up and do what needs to be done to actually make 2025 a key pivotal year, as what they kind of said that it was going to be. But moving on from here though, you do have this. So these are all estimates just from the States for new vehicle sales. So Lucid roughly looks like 750 for cars, 55 for trucks, bringing a grand total to 805. So if you couple that with the January estimates, it's roughly around 1400. So both January and February. This might not coincide exactly with what the true production is, but this gives you a little bit more of an insight. So ultimately, when it comes down to this, they are lagging. So really, in order for them to hit their 20,000 at least, being conservative, they need to more than double this up. But then again, I think Q4 is always a very big quarter for Lucid, always has been ever since way back in 2022. So it's that most likely will make up for the deficiencies in Q1, but still they need to get their stuff together. They cannot be slacking. But when it comes down to shorts, another day, for whatever reason, they are pouncing. So they are increasing 6.58 million shares today. So absolutely insane stuff. So over the last little bit, they've increased almost around about 45 million shares just in almost 1 week. 45 million shares. Just to give you an overview of why and how crazy that is. So 51.92 million shares have been traded so far today. 86 is the average. So they are really just doubling the hell down like no end. So it's honestly, I've kind of talked on this in the last couple of videos on why shorts might be doing this, but this is absolutely insane. But 25.05% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 3.03 0.69 million shares overall are being shorted. And then through IBKR, you do see roughly around, at the low recently, was around 3 million shares available. So that is very abnormal. So shorts are extremely overextended. So if you are one of those individuals that believes in, let's say, a squeeze or just shorts returning, it might be probably in the next couple of days they'll start to return because there won't be any available shares out there. So again, something to kind of keep in mind. Moving on from here, looking at the options, 1.16 million in calls, 1.81 in puts. 46% of all the options being done today are optimistic in nature, and clearly big money is getting involved in Lucid through options, because just between 1040 and 1045 there was 633,000 in premiums, and then 721,000 between 1055 and 11. So a lot of big money obviously is getting in, unless it's retail, one of you guys are doing this, because then if so, you guys deserve a round of applause. But aside from that, of the call options that are being purchased, you see consensus for it to be kind of at 250 for the most part. And then same as what I brought up yesterday, so the week ending March the 21st, there's still a lot of optimism for it to be above 350 for that chain. So that is a monthly chain, and I think that does coincide with some big updates potentially coming from Lucid. Aside from that though, these are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000, which is fairly good. You do see a lot of good buying right here, 3 sells, but most of the transactions are buys. So one of the big things and attributing factors for today is shorts and algorithmic trading, both kind of suppressing Lucid for the most part, with it at 207 right above this S1. So watch for this 206 to be a key pivot for Lucid today, and ideally for it to close above that. Yeah, again, if you're going to see any sort of recovery, so 206 will be for that. And no new analyst ratings, nothing along those lines. On the actual chart itself, not really much to say. It's just bloodbath, not good at all, below all the key pivotal and moving averages. Stochastic RSI is fairly low on a side note, so very oversold. So you could see a little bit more of a push higher potentially if good news was to come out. And I think there is a lot of good opportunities for news, let's say tariff related, that like if something just goes positive and let's say Canada and Mexico decide not to retaliate, keeping everything the status quo, then you know what, that might actually be seen as positive. If there's some Ukraine developments for peace, then that again, the market will absolutely love that. So I think there's just a lot of good opportunity. We just unfortunately need to be patient. So let me know your viewpoint on all of that. What's your general thoughts on these numbers? Do you think I'm being too difficult? Do you think that they are good? Or what's your kind of 2 cents on all that? And I get it, for these numbers, for the Gravity, yeah, obviously I think expectations are fairly low. They already stated that Q1 is going to be slowly ramping up. So I think that 55 can be excused, but the 750, I think that is kind of low for February. But again, I think that's more aligned with their old targets when they had 9,000 for a full year. So in 2024, then yeah, 750 would be good. But with them ramping it up to 20, that 750 isn't going to cut it. So yeah, what's your 2 cents on Lucid? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon and get buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them absolute bangers. Pop over that. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you guys watching.